welcome back to my so-called Xennial life. Christmas is around the corner. Aren't we all excited now? The time of season to drain your bank account and go into deep credit card debt. Here, here. I love coffee, by the way. I drink it quite a lot. I think I got it from my mother. Growing up, my mom used to love drinking lots and lots and lots and lots of coffee. My dad was beer and cigarettes, but my mom it was coffee. So anyway, this will be a relatively short video, and you might be wanting to know what the point of it is. So, obviously I'm going to title it is Feeling Old, Being Called Sir for the Very First Time. Now, this is more of a personal observation in some of the Xennial and Gen X groups that on Facebook that I belong to, and one running theme is people beginning to feel old. Now, we all go, no matter who you are, anybody who's like watching this now who might be a Gen Z or whatever, or the younger generation, you're all going to go through it. You're going to start feeling old when things turn 20, 25, 30 and stuff. I'm sorry, I just really need my coffee because it's just so early in the morning. It's not really that early, but I need coffee all the time or I will not function. So anyway, so I digress. Yes, it's all basically part of growing up. And one time, I think I'm going to talk about this because I think a person being called sir or ma'am, especially by a younger person, is when you kind of realize that you're just, not a kid anymore. And so here's the basic story of what happened and how it made me feel, okay? And more about it. I was living in Providence. I just moved out, maybe out of my parents' house a couple months. So I was about 23 at the time. And I met up with my friend, who's no longer a friend because he's dead, but his name was Bill. We were going to the movies, and I'm trying to remember what we saw. It must have been not that been that good because I don't even remember what movie we saw. But so we're walking out, and so there's a lot of the theater. And by the way, the movie theater was in the Providence Place Mall for all you local people who might be watching. So we got out, and so there were other movies ended, so all these people were leaving, and this kid, I'm guessing 14, 15 years old. I don't know how about that. So he doesn't yell, but he's like shouting out for me, sir, sir. And I turn around and he goes, do you have the time? I think he might have, I had a watch on, and so I'm assuming he was asking me because I had the watch. So, I gave him the time and I started walking. And then my friend Bill turns to me and goes, oh, you must be feeling old. You were called sir. Because when the kid called me sir, it didn't hit me at all. Did not hit me at all until my friend Bill mentioned it, jerk. Being funny, but he's like, yeah, they go tell me that to make me feel old. And it did hit me after that it's like, because I was, like I said, about 23 at the time. And to be fair, I had a mustache, a really hideous looking mustache. And I looked probably, looking back at these pictures, I definitely looked a lot older than what I was. I looked like I was in my 30s. Not that that's like much older because I'm 42 now, but I'm just saying that I didn't look 23. I looked like I was 33. I kind of got thinking about this a little bit more because this episode aired a while ago on The Big Bang Theory, but it was something that they did that I could relate to, in which I'm going to totally paraphrase this episode. And I don't remember exactly which episode it was, but it was Penny and Leonard were married. And Penny, they were out like at a bar, and Penny went up to this bartender, and she was kind of like doing her, Penny was a funny character, and she kind of knew that if you want to get your way with guys, particularly you're just doing boo 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 boo, guys would just do. And it wasn't really affecting him. And then he kind of made a comment to her about calling her miss or ma'am. I can't remember which word it was. And she was like, well, wait, how old do you think I am? And it's like, and he was kind of like, made a comment that she thought she was quite older and wasn't very young. Again, I'm kind of like recalling this episode from complete memory. And she was like, and she kind of started feeling old at that moment. Because remember, in the beginning of the series, she and Leonard and Sheldon and everything were probably in their early 20s, and now they were I think they were reaching might have been in their early 30s at this time. So it was like, wow, that struck with me. It's like, wow, somebody called you sir or ma'am or miss, and you're like, wow, you're not this young person who can go to a club and get what you want anymore. By the way, I wasn't really much of a club person, by the way, but I'm just saying you weren't, you're beginning to realize that you're not young anymore. You're not the little kid anymore. You're not the young carefree 20-year-old anymore. You're an adult. And guess what? For all these people who might be watching who are kids and stuff and not an adult, being an adult actually sucks. There's some advantages. Don't get me wrong. Like I can buy alcohol, cigarettes, and, go to the state in Massachusetts next door and I can legally buy pot too. Woohoo! Not Rhode Island yet. So there's not advantages to being in it, but guess what? It generally sucks because you also have taxes, rent, bills, phone bills, medical bills. Those suck. And your money, it's like society's like, here, give me your money. I'm lucky that I make decent amount of money and I can kind of do stuff, but I can't do as much stuff I would like. I'm able to take trips to Europe and stuff like that, but it takes me a lot to save up, and sometimes I get into too much credit card debt, and luckily I'm only down to one. I had three that were completely maxed out, paid two of them off, and now I just got one. So I'm able to enjoy life, but it just seems like, especially around Christmas time, where I'm just like shelling out money left and right, I know I'm going on a tangent, but it is like, I will say being an adult kind of sucks. I kind of miss being a kid. At least you were a little bit more carefree, and not like my childhood was perfect. I really had some bad shit to happen to me when I was younger, but there was a lot of carefree, a lot of innocence and stuff like that. But yeah, I will say that that time, 23, being called sir, was definitely the time when I began to realize I am. Even, by the way, even living on my own and paying rent and utilities still didn't click with me. And then like, shit, I'm old. So that's my story. I hope some of you, I kind of like want to talk about it so some of you can kind of relate. I'm kind of like doing this. This is more like, personal experiences. And I'm guarantee a lot of you who might be around my age can relate. And some of you probably are not as bothered as me, and I'm not really, really that bothered. There's other things that made me feel old that really bothered me than just being called sir. But I want to hear stories from other people. It's like, how was it the very, very first time you were called sir, ma'am, and stuff like that, and how did you feel? And maybe some of you enjoyed it, and you're like, yeah, I'm a ma'am, I'm a sir, I'm a mister, miss or whatever like that. You better damn know it, you little punk, or something like that. Me, I was like, I'm freaking old. Oh well, that's all part of growing up, and I will probably talk about more stories about stuff that just made me feel, time to get the cane, time to get the walker. And I'm 42. Can imagine what it's going to be like in 10 more years, or 20 years, or 30 years if I even make it that far. My parents didn't, neither one of my parents made it to 60, so I'm not expecting to make it to 60. Anywho, so I mentioned, if you saw episode 1, I mentioned about making a few episodes relatively close together. I'm going to not stop making these videos, but I'm no longer going to be trying to make them like weekly. I was trying to do a weekly thing, so this I can attract new people. Now, I might do a video, so meaning some of my videos will probably not be as quick, maybe once every couple weeks and stuff like that instead of once a week. I am kind of thinking of doing maybe 2 for Christmas. There's a reason why, but I'm not sure if I'm going to do it. I definitely want to do a Christmas memory, and I want to possibly do a review of the Matrix Resurrection, because Matrix, I remember the Matrix from growing up, and it's kind of nice to see these sort of semi-nostalgic films coming out. So I hope you all like this series, and I hope you now get the basic idea of what I'm going to do, and you want to subscribe and like, and maybe do something similar, maybe a response video. I know we don't have those response things anymore, but kind of like hearing from other people. I feel connected with people when we start having shared stories, no matter where you're from, whether it's from the United States, Britain, France, Germany, Japan, Australia. I don't give a damn. I'm not one of those people that'll be like, you're going to be American only. Yeah. So, anywho, like I said, if I don't come back sooner, I want you wishing you all a Merry Christmas and drink tons and tons of coffee and hope you come back.